All right, let's do it then. You ready?
Yep.
Cool. Hey, Matrix Live, Ben here, and I'm here with Harshot, who is Will. Hey,
Hiya.
what have you been doing? Bridges, no doubt.
I've been doing bridges. I probably should introduce myself a little bit for the two people who don't
Sure,
know who I am
go
yet.
ahead.
I'm Hofshot. I do bridgesmates.org. Currently leading the efforts on the RC bridge, the Slack bridge, and so on and so forth,
Hmm.
Bifrost as well. And basically, what we do is we build bridges between platform A and platform B.
Hmm.
Um, and
And you do this.
yeah,
You do this for Element, but you also work in the day on EMS, right? What's EMS?
Oh, EMS is our sort of all-in-the-box hosting platform for both
Hmm.
bridges and home servers as well. So the idea is you pay us $10 a month and you get a Matrix home server, and then
Hmm.
you can also choose to add a bridge like RIC, Telegram, Discord,
Yeah.
various other things. So it's sort of like my day job is I build things that are paid so that we can then support all these many bridges that exist in the community.
Hmm. Yep. So EMS is a Matrix SaaS, and then there's a first class
Yeah,
bridging available there as well. All right, but
yeah.
bridging has been a bit of a hot. I mean, for you, it's always the topic, but it's also been a bit of a hotter than normal topic lately. What's the deal with IRC?
IRC is an old protocol, but it's a protocol people cling to and still love.
Mm.
Yes, so IRC has recently gone for a bit of a change in that Freenode has always been the biggest IRC network
Hmm.
out there, essentially. It's at least the open free software side of things. And they've recently gone for a change where a lot of the staff members in Freenode quit due to some disturbances, and they've gone and built a new network called Libera Chat. Matrix has been bridged to Freenode since 2015. They've been connected to us for a long time.
Mm.
And so, in fact, longer than I've been working bridges,
Right.
if people can believe that. And so this new network's just come about, and obviously a lot of people have moved over to it as well. And the staff moved, a lot of the people also took their tools and moved
When you
over.
say the people, you mean the admins and the channel
Yeah,
admins that were on
the
Freenode.
a good chunk of the Freenode staff all moved over to LiberaChat and started their own thing.
Hmm.
And with that, a lot of the users also moved with them because that's how things tend to happen in the RC world.
Mm.
Obviously, Matrix being bridging to Freenode left us in this position where we're like, oh, okay, a lot of the people who are using the bridge to connect to their communities have moved their communities to this new place.
Hmm.
There's no way we can't bridge to LibreChat, right?
Yep.
I so it's I guess I should tell the story actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Um,
Yeah. Go on.
so we had a fantastic relationship with the Freenode staff. You know, a lot of the stuff from them, a lot of the bug fixes we made to the bridge in the last few years have been led by them, saying this is a problem, can you come fix it? And we've tried to, fairly quickly go in there and do it,
Okay.
and it's been great. But basically, this drama happened, and I was reading Hacker News as you do on a Wednesday lunchtime, and sort of knocked on the door to Matthew, our Matrix org leader in chief, and sort of said, this thing's taking off, this Libra chat. Should we
Hmm.
be jumping at this? And he's like, I see drama. Let's play and wait, which is a totally fair response to most drama on the internet.
I mean,
Um,
IRC drama is it's almost its own category, but yes, sure.
Yes, it's a bit mad. So we then were like, okay, we should move this thing. A few hours later, we're like, okay, the winds are changing. We should jump on this. So at the very moment, I jumped onto my messaging app, Telegram, I think, spoke to some of the people there and said, hey, look, we're Matrix, you know us. We really would like to bridge the Libra chat. We'd love to do it in such a nice, beautiful way and get it right this time. And they sort of said to us, yeah, this is great. Let's have a call, we'll sort this out.
Hmm.
And they sent us sort of like a list of things that they would like to have, a list of sort of like changes they'd like to see.
Hmm.
Um, and on our side, we said, well, we'd like to actually use libra.chat as the domain name, no longer have the prefix, but have a full hash foo colon libra chat should go to hash foo. There should be like a
Right.
prefix of Freenode,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And we reached an agreement. On our side, we were going to add greater privacy to the bridge, which is something we've wanted to do anyway.
Hmm.
Notably, we wanted to make it so that if Matrix users weren't connected to RSC, the RSC messages would not appear on their clients or indeed across the bridge until everybody was joined to both sides.
Okay.
Um, which seems like a reasonable thing to say. There are parts in the bridge where there are sort of races, if you like, where someone in Matrix will join a Matrix room but not yet be connected to RSC because
Mm.
there's up to a minute of delay between being joined to A to being joined to B,
Yeah.
and they were basically worried about that situation, which
Okay.
seems like a fair thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Um,
I mean, it's not a huge deal, but yes. Okay. Good. It's good that we fixed it.
yeah, and we fixed it. We did, I think, a pretty good job in the end. Obviously, there are general things of, oh, you're connecting at the moment 10,600 users to this bridge on Matrix, which is quite a number.
Yeah.
I think some works that was like 25% of the Libera chat is currently Matrix users.
Really, that's
So
an interesting statistic for you.
it
Okay.
is, and it's a challenging one, especially because we're getting about a peak 6-7 hertz of traffic of messages from
Mm-hmm.
them, and probably about a hertz the other direction from us. So there's quite a challenge involved in sort of routing that efficiently.
Yep. Yep.
In fact, we built our own home server just to do this. You know, Libra Chat is a host that EMS is hosting,
Mm-hmm.
spec'd up to support the entire IC community that are using this thing. Um,
Because
so there's
there's
a
a
hell of a
virtual
lot.
user, because there's a virtualized user for everybody on the other side as well.
Yeah, yeah. Except this time it's no longer, freenode underscore foo. It's now just their name, which means to most people it appears that LeaveChat is almost a Matrix home server.
I think it's an
Um,
interesting claim. Yeah.
I mean, I want to be absolutely clear that we're definitely LeaveChat are definitely not hosting Matrix services. But what we've done, I think, is make quite a nice experience.
Mm-hmm.
You're no longer having to add extra underscores or non-matrixy things.
Yeah.
It looks, I think, quite beautiful as this is probably best as you can do.
So the channel
Um,
names are mapped. So where you'd have hash pound sign whatever channel name, now that
mhm.
becomes room name colon on
Yeah,
Libra.chat.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is literally as simple as if you want to connect to gardening a Libra chat, you just do hash gardening a Libra chat. It's no longer going to think about the
Super.
stupid prefixes. And sorry to say that the one large change we've spent a lot of time has actually been moving people across.
Mm.
Our support team, it's a big move. It's not always so obvious how much of Matrix is powered in some way by Freenode's rooms, or there's a lot of places where Freenode's bridged to Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly upheave all that stuff and move it across has been a significant challenge.
So isn't it
Um,
true though that that at some point that would have had to be dug up, and forcing us to do that
we
now is just handy.
It's good. It's good in the way that we've done, should we say, like the D-Day, well, the disaster situations
Mm-hmm.
happened, and we know the challenges.
Okay.
I think we would expect it to be more gradual, like people slowly shifting off.
Mm.
Would expected like essentially a few days' notice, in some
Okay.
cases less than a day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah,
um,
having it be a crisis isn't the answer, but still, okay.
yeah, a slow burn would have been appreciated. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty proud of the team and proud of also I'm quite thankful to the community for
Mm-hmm.
being very receptive to the amount of time we have available to do these things and generally being quite helpful. You know, when I've asked for details, I've been happy to give it.
Mm-hmm.
When I've asked like how does it take a day or talk to the support queue, they've been quite understanding and that's been fantastic
So, how
to
far
have.
along the migration are you of the people who've chosen to migrate? Is there a queue, or are you done?
There's a queue for support where we have complicated situations, usually larger rooms. There were some bugs initially around bridging, which are fixed. There were also a case where there was a situation where a lot of the alias rooms for Freenode, that's the ones which are created automatically, not the plumbed ones, that we needed to manually give permissions back to Matrix users so they could
Okay.
choose where to put them.
Right. Yep.
And we wrote some bridge and some bots and did all that. So I'd like to say we're pretty much near the end now of that support queue.
Mm.
We're really getting there. If we haven't got you yet, we're getting there. There are two support people currently working on this queue.
Okay.
But yes, so we're making progress and
But it's
yeah, hang tight.
effectively or SaaS though. If it's a brand new room, if you go to Libera Chat and create a new channel, and then
Yeah,
you don't have to do anything to access that room from the Matrix side.
absolutely. It's completely
Okay,
automatic. The
sure.
only situation you'd need to do anything is if you want to plumb your existing Freenode room into it, which we support. It's just a little bit more work for you
Yeah,
to
I
do that.
mean, at some point you've got to take the bandit off, though.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. So what? So the obvious. I mean, okay, maybe this isn't fair, but the obvious question that I have is who, why there was drama on Freenode. Why make a
Yeah.
new IRC network at all?
So, I
We've
mean,
already got
sort
Matrix.
of, it's true, it's true. A lot of people still use IRC as is given, and I'm clearly not the best person to answer this question, having used Matrix for the last 5 or 6 years. But I did use IRC once, so I'm qualified.
Yep.
Basically, people like, I think, the quick, easy access to a conversation. You can have an issue with a piece of software and join an IRC chat in 10 seconds. There's no
Mm.
registration. Some would say the culture suits them better, not having long responses because RFC doesn't allow you. Some people say that's silly, but people do like the ability to have limits to their conversations. It clearly works for some people. Some 37,000 people seem to think this is a good idea.
Yeah. All right. So okay, let's a nice segue then. Numbers. What's 37,000?
As of this morning, I know Libera chat had 37,000 connected IRC users. That's not registered. That's just people currently connected, which is a lot, honestly. For IRC, that's big. There is definitely a lot of interest in IRC still. It's definitely still a challenge for us, having a protocol that is somewhat fairly simple and somewhat divergent, depending which connection or which server you talk to Matrix. At the same time, I think it's a testament probably to the quality of Matrix and LibreChat's software that we can make these things work and work well.
And very fast too. I mean, the turnaround time on this was great. Does that relate to the maturity of the IRC bridge as well?
Yeah, I think generally speaking, like 90% of the features just worked. We could just set the thing up. In fact, we used the stock EMS bridging roles, and all the Ansible stuff was just used straight out of the box. Super. The only things that we had to change were the requirements that they made in their initial document for bridging the thing. We made some changes on the side anyway, just because it's me, and of course I've made changes. One of the things is that we refactored the Node RC library to be TypeScript. Ben is all too familiar with how many times I've written things and converted to TypeScript.
As a long-term JavaScript developer, I feel like I've basically learned TypeScript by doing code review for your gradual conversion of the various JavaScript components. I've loved it. It's been great.
It's good, especially good for IC, I found, because the typings help when you have lots of buffers and string parts floating about. Especially now that you can make TypeScripts, string values are now types where you can have templates as types, which is really strange. But basically, yeah, TypeScript's a really good tool for this, and we generally found
how do string templates benefit the IRC bridge?
Because you might have formats which you need to ensure are definitely true when you're doing an if statement or something, and you want to make sure something prefixes or suffixes with a certain value.
Right.
But some TypeScript now does it compile time, which is interesting.
Super. Fair enough.
These are all good things. Generally speaking, we did that. We did SASL support, which is sort of an RSC authentication system, SASL, I guess. We basically provide a username and a password to authenticate. This replaces the old Nix serve stuff people used to have to do.
Right.
We had to do the store pass stuff. It's all now done. I guess the other nice thing to call out is we have online HTML documentation for this whole thing. If you've seen Andrew's Synapse documentation, it's just like that. No longer do you have to send a message to someone saying, hey, it's how you use the bridge. It's now read the documentation. Super. It's designed for people.
Where's the new documentation?
It's linked on the Matrix episodes IRC repo. Okay. It's probably the best way to get there rather than getting the full address.
We'll link it in the description too. Cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's been a pretty good journey, honestly. I'm not going to say it wasn't stressful at times, building like this whole chat platform in one go, or building this whole bridge, but staff have been super supportive when we've had crisis, so we've done a configuration error. They've been totally like, oh, this is fine, this is what you do. And definitely for a staff who've just built a new IRC platform from scratch, of the burden of the half the FOSS world, like depending on you, shout out to them. And I think we've done a pretty good job too overall. I'd say it's working. It's a shock that it's working.
No, it's. I mean, yeah. I'm not surprised by this. I'm impressed by the speed. But I had no doubt that this was going to work. All right, so this is pretty huge. What else has been going on in this world? I guess this has taken up basically all your attention lately.
The last 4 weeks or so, it just felt like it's been a dream of the StarRC stuff. But we have been doing stuff on the side. Matrix App Service Bridge continues to improve. We're trying to do encrypted app service support finally. You'll be seeing occasionally MSCs coming through from Travis, and all sorts of things happening in the world. So we get native encryption basically working in bridges. I can't really give like a firm commitment to when that'll be done, but we're thinking about it again. We're trying to improve on our pantalignment approach, essentially. So
I'm looking forward to this very much. I've got people. I mean, pantalignment works. Don't get me wrong at all. But we've got people relying on pantalignment right now that would like to have a more native way of doing things.
Yeah, so that's coming. I mean, frankly, EMS likes to save memory on things, and one way to do that is to remove a dependency in the process. So this is all good stuff.
Fair enough. I didn't realize that EMS was so eager for it as well. I know that we've got others.
We like to save memory. Otherwise, yeah, bridges are continuing. Bifrost is getting a little bit of maintainership coming forward. We'd like to especially try and improve our
from somebody who's not you.
Oh, somebody isn't me.
Yeah.
We have, I guess I should mention it, Tadzik. The community's beloved Tadzik has started as a bridge developer now.
Cool.
And this means that we now have someone who can work on things, that isn't me, as well as Christian as well. And so Tadzik's currently working on a bit of Bifrost stuff and doing some improvements. So we'll thrill the SMPP community, I'm sure, because it's been a bit ropey ever since I became bridges and everything else. So yeah, we've generally got more people to do things, and I don't know if we've got anything else explicitly to call out.
No, don't worry. I mean, it's been a busy time. We all can see that. It's just it's a shame. I mean, I was going to say it's a shame that there's this drama, but maybe that's just the nature of the world, and that's okay.
From my point of view, it's good because the new RSCD is slightly more up to date than Freenode RSC, so I actually have slightly more to play with than I used to. So
from your point of view, it's all RCDs. So just
yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything else you want to add before we sign off?
No. Thanks guys for your patience with the Libera chat, and keep bridging. And as always, send us bug reports, give us feedback. It's always good stuff to hear how things are going. Thank you.
Super. All right. Thanks, Matrix Live. Thanks, Half Shot. Bye.
Bye, guys.